Hello, everyone. This is part 2 of 3 in a series analyzing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Arceus' Wish. You don't need to watch the first one to understand this one, though. So, anyway, let's get started. So, in part 1, I said that part 2 would be about the entity. And that's correct. I'm doing a theory on the entity right now. The entity is an unnamed antagonistic force in the series. It is absolutely linked to assimilation, and most likely responsible for it. Beings controlled by the entity, the assimilated, act extremely violent and are powered up significantly compared to their former selves. Additionally, only one assimilated being shows significant signs of sapience: the Gengar, which is clearly linked more directly to the entity, and they even share some visual similarities, but they're definitely not exactly the same. The entity has a glowing red spiky mouth. The Gengars are has a regular mouth. Still kinda creepy though. In addition, the entity's eyes look pretty strange in a way that the Gengars doesn't. And in episode 2's disclaimer, the Gengar is clearly looming over Kyle instead of the entity. Additionally, the tendrils in the void look kinda like Gengar's hands, although that could just be a coincidence. My current belief for who the Gengar is that the Gengar is kind of the entity's vessel in a way. They're not the entity themselves, but they're kind of like interchangeable, if that makes sense. Think sort of the relationship between Chris and the player in Deltarune, if you know what that is. Although presumably much more willing in this scenario. Although I can't be sure about that. But this theory is who is the entity, not who is the Gengar. So I should probably discuss that more. So, to be completely honest, I have very little idea of who the entity is, but I can still speculate. The entity was clearly trusted by Arceus, but betrayed them, and assimilation is clearly linked to that betrayal. I mean, I can't possibly imagine being linked to some dark corruptive force. Anyway, the entity is also seemingly linked to storms and rain. Like how it was storming during the opening that when that somewhat disturbing scene at the end of episode 1 was happening, and also during the fight at the end of episode 2. So assimilated beings and the entity are linked to rain and storms somehow. So the only conclusion I can really come to that's definitely accurate is that the entity is some sort of malicious entity that gained Arceus's trust and betrayed them and stole a lot of their power. It's a somewhat obvious conclusion, but there's not much evidence to work with only 2.5 episodes out. The end credit sequence literally says, quote, "Through wind and rain, there's never time to explain." And oh boy, they do not waste time on that. They just do not explain anything. I can relate to that. Welp, I guess that's it for this video. See y'all next time. And holy shit. Hello everyone, this is your good old pal W Survivor coming in with the outro. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and say I'm cool. And if you want to know more about that little purple fox that just showed up, you might want to check out my D&D campaign. It's only the first episode is currently out, but trust me, the purple fox is gonna be important to it. See you later.